Right, hello everyone, and welcome back to Ero Pc F2, where today we'll be racing around Baku in Azerbaijan. Sorry for the slightly delayed start due to IRL qualifying, and yeah, just had to get stuff sorted quickly. Anyway, we have 19 drivers on the grid today, and we also have a missing Mitch for a bit. He'll be with us shortly, and it'd be nice if someone could stop messaging me on Discord. But anyway, I'm going to show Stacks already out the session. I didn't see that. By how quick it was, I think it was in the pit lane. Anyway, who's at the front? It is Antonopoulos in the Alpine. Right. So, he will be the first driver to start a lap today. And, well, at the moment, a lot of drivers have a split strategy of going for, well, about half and half on softs and mediums, so we'll have to see as Hajrusi's already been disqualified for being parked in a dangerous location as well. Anyways, on board with Antonopoulos. 3 turn 1 uses a bit of the inside curb and a bit on the outside curbs as well, and as the disqualified car's just in his way. And luckily he's managed to avoid that, as well, one of the Alfa Romeos that has been disqualified randomly just has its car driving in the middle of the track, which does not help at all. But anyway, coming to the end of Sector 1. Quite a more simple sector compared to the other two, I'd say. Well, actually, no, Sector 3 is quite easy, but it's mainly Sector 2 here, where a lot of very slow speed corners, and you really just want to keep it out of a wall, especially on your first lappers. Into Castle, the most dangerous part of this track, where I'm sure we'll see a few crashes, especially on people's later runs, trying to push everything they can to get the best laps that they can. But not a bad lap here from Antonopoulos to start us off. And through turn 15, another very tricky corner, especially with the curb on the inside. You want to try avoid it, otherwise it can just send you into a wall. And now Antonopoulos in Sector 3 for the final 2. I mean, they are corners, but they're not really that challenging. They're just, unless actually, to be fair, on cold tyres they can be. Anyway, up to the line. Antonopoulos does a 140.6, which will be followed by David Hoy, who goes with a 139.9, so 7 tenths quicker. Next is both the Red Bulls of Owen and Hadji, who was just starting his lap. Owen goes fastest on mediums with a 139.4. Okay, nice time to start from Owen there, and that is very quick. Anyway, next up's Adam Matusiak, who is on mediums as well, and he goes up to 4th on a 147. Then David Power, David Power, the other Aston Martin, does a 139.8 on softs, where McGinty does a 140 flat on mediums. Next across the line was Sif Fuentes, who did a 140.5, but Cody Reed takes provisional pole with a 139.3. As Dino on Mercedes, right behind Owen there, as seems like the Mercedes are working well together here for using slipstream, as well, Dino on the mediums doesn't exactly have to push too much, because I mean, he can do multiple laps on those. As next in line will be Rajpal in the Alpine, and his time is going to be a 1 minute 40.3 to start him off, but he's straight back to the outside curb, suggesting he might go for a 2 runs on those set of tyres. As next is the new Haas driver, who's moved down from PC1, Kamil Shizevsky, who does a 2 minute 0.4, so probably just wanting to do a second out lap there on those mediums to get Alright, sorry about that. I'm hoping we are back live, but I had a few quick issues with, well, things with the stream, but we are back in the session. I've also changed the stream settings, so hopefully they are running a bit more smooth, but we shall just have to see. As while I've been out the session, if I get back up the stuff, we can have a look. What's changed is Adam Leipzig in the Mercedes has gone up to 4th, and Lasse Rasmussen in the Ferrari is 7th. So they're the two noticeable changes that jump out at me from looking, but I can't really see anything else yet. So I think I just miss people mostly going into the pits and getting on a fresh set of tyres, ready for extra runs. So anyways, we have 8.5 minutes of the session left, so we shall see what's going to happen here as David Hoyer's binned it up Castle on his 8th lap, and hopefully for him, no, his front wing's completely gone. Luckily for him, even he's not out the session, but he is driving without a front wing, so he is going to have to be very careful. Anyways, we have McGinty, who's 4 tenths up currently on his lap, as his first one was on mediums. However, this time around he's gone for softs. So we'll see as he's coming towards the sector 2 split line now, through turn 15, and the gap is going to be, or whose delta is going to be, 6 tenths quicker. And according to the game, that's a purple sector 2, but knowing, because I got kicked out of session, that probably is incorrect. I wouldn't be surprised. So through the final sector here, keeping very close to the wall, which, I mean, he's adjusting his steering, so I don't know, he's probably not losing him any time, but strange. Enrico second with a 1:39.3, which is a very solid lap time for there. Was Dino's 8 tenths up on his lap. Okay, this could be a very quick timing coming. Definitely in the mid 1:38s from Dino here. And up to the line he comes now, and it's going to be a 1:38.8. So a very quick time there from Dino, and he's our first driver into the 38s here. As next to the line, who's actually on a lap, will be, I believe, Fadia in the Alpha Tauri, who, I mean, we don't know the delta because the game hasn't told us, so we'll see as he's coming up to the line if he's going to improve. Currently in 15th. There's a few drivers quite close to his time in front, so we'll see how he does here, as he's going to be in the 140s, and it's a 140.2, which puts him up to 10th. Maybe not exactly where he wants to be, as someone's just shot up. One of the Williams of Adam Matusiak. It's gone up to 5th with a 1:39.7. I'm going to have the gap to leader on, because, well, actually, nah. Interested to see now how Adam's actually still on mediums, and he's only about a 10th down, so maybe he's confident that he can actually stay in the top 10 on these mediums that he has done some runs on. As Elliott jumps up to 2nd with a 1:39.2. So his first run saw him in about the middle of the pack, but he's improved that time quite a lot here on his 2nd run, and that's going to put him at quite a good time as the Mercedes here, hello, doing a bit of slipstream tactics, as Adam was still about a 10th down, but with this, he could definitely gain a lot of time, as he's going to use the DRS as Dino goes into the pit lane. So it looks like they've planned this out very well, but he's actually somehow gone slower. Okay, yeah, that makes sense, definitely. But yeah, so Adam's somehow gone slower in the 2nd sector. I mean, the final sector even. Even though he's getting a tow the whole way there by his teammate, it hasn't actually worked out for the Mercedes. And now with about 4.5 minutes of the session left, he's going to have to get in and get back out quickly. As Eric Hadju in the Red Bull, currently sitting about 2 tenths up. And we'll see how he can do on the rest of his lap. As he's currently down in 15th, but will probably improve quite a bit here. As there's yellow flags ahead, so hopefully that's not going to affect him too much. As one of the AlphaTauris is slowing down, I believe that's Elliott on his in lap. As he's a second down, and he's run white there, not invalidated, but with how the final sector is, I don't think he's going to improve on this lap, unfortunately for him. As we have a few drivers starting their laps. Is there anyone on a lap? I don't think so. Other than the guys who've just started. Cody Reed's immediately invalidated, which isn't good for him, as Adam's on his way into the pits. He's slowed down massively, and I don't think he's got enough time for another lap here, so I mean that's going to be the end of Adam's session. As I'm trying to find someone who's coming to the end of that lap, as not Antonopoulos. Rajpol's on an 8 lap. McLaren's on an 8 lap. So the next will be it will actually be Cody, but he's invalidated. So it'll be, let's say, Rasmussen, who coming to the sector 1 line now, is 3 tenths up already. So already a good improvement from him so far. As manages to barely keep it out of wall there, just before Castle, and we'll lose him a bit of time. But I don't think he'll lose him 3 tenths. So he should still be able to improve here. We'll see how he's doing at the sector 2 split line. As into turn 15, takes it very nicely. Could have put a bit more power on the exit, but other than that, very well to keep out the wall. And that's 3 tenths up already. As he had to be very careful there. He's almost lost the car, but he is 3 tenths up. So this like could put him potentially as high as 6th, which is interesting to see. As activating DRS now and up to the line. The lap time's going to be a 1:39.5, which does put him up to P6, like I said. As now we have everyone coming across the line. As Cifuentes is next, goes 11th. Next is one of the Williams. I believe that's Matusiak starting his lap. Actually, no, that isn't. That's an Alpine. That was Antonopoulos, who did not improve on his lap, unfortunately. Next up is Fadia starting a lap, who's given a really nice tow here to Camille, but Camille was already 8 seconds down, so he may have made a mistake somewhere during his lap. Next to the line will be Rajpal, who's already 9 tenths up. So this could put him well into the 1:39s here, challenging around where Owen is. As it looked like he's letting off the throttle a bit. So is he trying to get... I think he was actually trying to aim himself perfectly on 11th there. Which is quite a cheeky strategy, but it almost paid off perfectly for him, as he has got 12. As next will be McGinty, but he's starting lap alongside Adam Matusiak. As Cody Reed's binned it somewhere in sector 1. Owen's going to start his lap alongside Eric in the Red Bull. And then after that, we will have Elliott, who's just about going to make the line here. Is Adam as well? I think Adam, it's going to be close whether or not Adam does make the line, but Dino is on a lap and is 4 tenths up. So this could be into the very low 1:38s here, and it's a 1:38.3 from Dino. And that's going to give him a massive advantage on provisional pole here. As next to the line is an Alpine of Antonopoulos, who goes up to P10. And if someone behind him improves, then he's in a good spot. And David Hoy's currently 8 tenths up. But back to the guys just crossing the line. Majinski jumps straight up to second with only doing 1 lap. As next is Fadia, who was 5 tenths up. And he goes up to P9 for now. As Next up, I believe, is an Aston Martin of David Hoy, who was, 9 tenths up. And up to the line, it's going to be P3. And barely misses out on getting into the 138s there, but a very good lap there from the Aston Martin. As next up's Adam Matuzak, who is a 10th up at the moment, so could potentially get ahead of Lasse Rasmussen in the Ferrari. And maybe if he gets even more time in this final sector, he can go further, but his battery's not looking too great right now, so I'm not sure how much of an improvement this is going to be. And it's only about a 10th for the Williams. There's Owen's next to the line, who's 8 tenths up, which is going to put him second, a 10th behind Dino. As Eric unfortunately has invalidated. McGinty, he's off to the pits. Then we have David Power, who looks as if he was getting a little bit of help out there by the Alpine, and he's also got Elliott behind him, so we'll check David Power. He's going to jump up to 8th, and Elliott improves to 3rd. So just about beating Majinski there, but we still have Adam on a lap, who got a tow from his teammate, and he's going to go up to 6th. And that is pretty much it for the qualifying session. So a lot of people, laps after laps constantly at the end there, just having to flick through constantly just to see how everyone was going to do. But we have Dino on pole, Owen in second, just over a 10th behind. Elliott and Majinski not too far behind in the 138s as well. Then we have David Hoy and Adam Lapage both very close. Cody Reed starting 7th in the Alfa Romeo, and we just think how much he could have improved, considering that time was, I believe, on his first lap. As we just wait for Dino to come into the pits, and then we can get on to the race. So, again, Owen and Dino seem like the main two are going to be fighting this race, but it's Baku, so I'd take that with a pinch of salt and think, well, this could be absolute carnage for safety cars, so I wouldn't exactly say these two are going to be, well, guaranteed at the front, as everyone inside the top 10 will be starting on these softs. So, who did I get down to? I got to McGinty, who's 8th. Then we have David Power 9th, Lasse Rasmussen 10th. And all these guys, Matusiak, Fadia, Antonopoulos, Cifuentes, Rajpold, Hadju, Kamil Shuzevsky, Adam Shostak, and Hajrusi all have a free choice of tyre. I'm not sure how much that's going to matter, but if these guys can keep it clean, then starting outside the top 10 could have a big effect, especially with being able to start on the medium tyres. So we will just have to see how this one's going to play out as well. It's dry here in Baku, so luckily for our drivers, they don't have to endure rain. Well, at least to start off with. So I am interested to see how this one's going to play out. I'm also interested to see what the guys outside the top 10 are going to do, because, well, with safety cars, it might be better just to start on the softs and take the advantage of getting as many positions as possible, as for some reason Mitch is on the grid. I know I invited him to the session. I don't know if he's here yet, so that's not good. Okay, it looks like he at least notices, but hopefully he can get around and retire and actually start commentating for the races. Leaving the session wasn't what he wanted to do. Hopefully he can rejoin, take control and just retire the car as quick as possible. Outside the top 10 anyways, we have quite a mix. So Rajpold did go with mediums, which is why he was trying to slow down to get himself outside the top 10. Antonopoulos, his teammate, also on mediums, alongside Eric Hadju, Adam Shostak, and Haj Rusi. As I'm interested to see. I keep saying I'm interested to see. How early on potentially we get a safety car? If these guys are going to be able to just stay out of it, give each other, you know, a bit of extra room off the start in order to not wipe out half the group within 2 or 3 corners. That would be ideal. But yeah, from the poll that was put, 40% of people think Owen's going to win, 30 for Dino, 30 for someone else, and actually 0 for Elliot. So I'm interested to see for whoever put someone else to win. I'm interested to see who you actually think is going to win this one. So just put it in the comments of the stream, and we can see as we've had Camille and Hajrusi have been disqualified from the formation lap, which is not good. And so have Hadju and Rajpold. So their tyres are going to be absolutely frosty when these guys get right into the grid. As I see someone doing the tactic here of leaving, you know, just a bit of a gap. Definitely not about, what it looked about 20 car lengths, as Adam Matusiak trying to get as much of an advantage as he can here. As Nathan saying that Mitch is going to win, despite the fact that he's left the session. He's also meant to be commentating, so well, that's an interesting thought. As technically, if he doesn't get back into retire the car, then well, if everyone else takes each other out, then I mean he does technically win the race. Well, I don't think that's going to happen here, as these guys are going to be confused seeing quite a lot of cars on the grid. So if I can get a nice angle of the lights and we can watch the start of this race in all its glory. Alright, so seems like at least we've got lights. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 lights. And it's the lights out here in Baku as Owen looks to get a good start there. So I'm wondering if he's going to be alongside Dino, and he's ahead of Dino by turn 1. And he's going to manage to make that move stick, as behind there's already a lot of carnage I can see in the background, as Owen's well off into the lead and fighting with Dino, but he does go a bit deep there, and Dino's going to be able to get a cut back on him. And these two are going side by side here up towards turn 3. Neither of them really giving each other too much space here, as into turn 3 they go. It's going to be close between them, and Owen just about avoids the wall there as Dino manages to retake the lead. Now Owen's got to worry about Elliot, who's all over the back of him here, trying to get himself up to second. And we also have a lot of other guys like Majinski, as it seems like everyone's making it through quite well at the moment. No one has specifically dropped too far off the back, as Dino continues to lead. Elliot following closely behind Owen, who managed to take the lead but has already dropped straight back down to second. As everyone's coming through Castle, I'm interested to see if they're all going to make it through here, as they're all slowly filtering through one by one. As further behind we've had some position changes as well, as I believe Cody Reed's made up some ground early on here, as there's been a crash and Owen and Hitchin have gone, and that's right in the middle of the track, and that's a virtual safety car only at the moment. I think that get upgraded to a full safety car, and it has. So I'm trying to figure out what's happened there, as they've had it coming together and they're both in the wall on the right side of the track there. Now I have a feeling, as I believe Elliot was in third, and there was a gap actually between Majinski and Owen, but the championship leader is now out of the race. And immediately that throws a curveball straight in, as well, we've got a safety car early on, as Camille, Lasse, Hadju, everyone outside the top 10's coming in, so more than likely a lot of them full front wing damage. So we'll have to see how that plays out. As off the start for Dia, how many places is he gonna? If I look, it's in detail. He's up 8 places already. Right. So an absolutely amazing start from the AlphaTauri here, who has gone straight up to 4th place. Cody Reed's had a good start up to 3rd. Matusiak's gone up a lot of places as well to 5th. Adam Lapage. Despite all the carnage and people going out the race in front of him, he still stays where he started. Cifuentes and Antonopoulos, benefiting from people pitting as well, have gone up quite far and now sitting inside the top 10. As McGinty, I believe I saw a McLaren and a Ferrari spun, or like sideways at turn 1, so well, that was interesting to see. So I believe that was probably McGinty, then I'd assume Adam Showstack, but I'm not sure. It'd be interesting to re-see what happened there on turn 1. As well, that was pure chaos if you do want to say that. As yeah, the top 10 obviously excluding Mitch. All didn't choose to pit while everyone else has, and they've all gone mediums apart from Hadju, who is reserving in the Red Bull today. And well, I'm interested to see what his strategy is. It's probably to try and make up as many places before. Well, we'll probably get safety car number 2 about, say, maybe 45 seconds after the restart potentially. As Mitch's ghost car's causing a lot of confusion here, which is not good. As he's still not in the session, so that's not what we want to see. I have no clue where he's gone. He's meant to be commentating this with me, and he just completely disappeared, which, you know, is great. Especially when you have to keep up with the chaos at back of you by yourself. Well, I think we're going to get one more. Well, this safety car will probably come in, I'd assume, this lap. Yeah, it didn't take long before the first one, and 2 of the guys who have been near the front quite often here both ate the race, so immediately opening up opportunities for some guys who don't see themselves near the front too often to get further up. And one of the drivers who, again, could have had a better quality if, unfortunately, I didn't see him retire. Cody Reed, already up to 3rd, so I'm interested to see if he can score another podium on track. But last time, after penalties were applied or removed for drivers, I think he finished 4th overall, so it'd be nice to see if he can get a podium here, as Adam's being Adam, and unless these guys are having some connection issues back here. So he's dropped them very far behind us. Adam's got a 5-second time penalty for ignoring yellow flags. I have no clue what's happened there, but unfortunately for him, that also can't be removed because he's going to have to pit as well, so that's not good. As Antonopoulos is out under safety car, and he's essentially had happened to him what happened to Grosjean when he went into the wall, but it was on the other side. And to be fair, I don't think Ericsson hit him, so yeah, not too sure about that one. But unfortunately for him, he is out the session, and that's already 3 drivers gone in 3 laps. So they're going to be getting back underway here, as I'm interested to see when Dino's going to go here. We'll stay on board to see when he decides to pull the trigger. And he's gone there when he's straight on the battery. Not caught Elliott too much, but he's going to have the breathing room into turn 1 as behind. Mitch's AI is just going to get overtaken ridiculously as Camille looks to have some issues as he's dropped behind, as the game's not giving me any good camera angles, but seems all clean off the restart except for further back. There's some position changes. David Perr fighting alongside Cifuentes here, as Cifuentes is looking to potentially re-overtake there, but it seems as if David Perr might be struggling with some connection issues, as if we look further back, we have a lot of the guys just getting through the ghost car of Mitch as quick as they can, in order to not lose too much time to the front runners. But at the moment, Dino's got the lead as there's yellow flags. I believe that's a McLaren and that's McGinty into the wall there. As Eric Hadji's also dropped quite far behind. McGinty doesn't look to have any damage that's visible, so that's at least good for him. But no major collisions here, as Fadia looks to be very close to Cody here, as Cody's already dropped out of the DRS range to Sorensen in front. So we'll see if the Alpha Tauri is going to mount an attack here on the Alfa Romeo even. And Fadia drives in Pc F3, but he also reserves here for Pc F2 as well. He's quite quick, so we are testing to see how he does in Pc F2. And after a good start here, he's also looking close to Cody Reed, as Owen's actually disconnected from the session. Oh wait, he's already at the race, I completely forgot. As Cifuentes even, I saw him into the wall there, as I wonder if he's got damage, as Camille in the Haas pits. And Cifuentes has to as well. That could be a double stack for Haas, but fortunately for him he doesn't, so maybe he just made a bit of contact with the wall that sort of unsettled his car, and luckily for him I don't think he got damage. As well, at the front, Dino's already pulled quite a significant gap to Elliott in second, and then behind them Cody Reed also is not within DRS quite of Elliott, but the gaps just seem to be forming early on here, and I'm interested to see how this will play out, as if we look further back we have quite a few guys here in a train fighting for 12th at the moment. As further up, Fadia's actually dropped out of DRS range of Cody nearly, as Adam Matusiak got very close to him, but it seems like Fadia's got a lot of straight line speed, so he's probably running a lower downforce setup, as he managed to pull about 2 or 3 attempts here to Adam Matusiak, as that could just be down to Matusiak running higher wings as well, but you'll have to see as the DRS will be enabled as they cross the line, as Eric Hadji, McGinty and Cifuentes here are all very close, so as Hadji actually scrapes up against the wall there, so loses a bit of straight line speed, but with the slipstream he had off Cifuentes actually pulls off into the pit, so maybe he did have damage but just was avoiding his teammate, as Cody Reed's there at the front, and he looks to have lost it on the exit of turn 2, and that's a safety car. And he's completely into the wall there, so I didn't see him fighting anyone on the timing tower, so I think he's lost that by himself there, unfortunately for Cody. As Majinski, he was at the race as well, so yeah. Unfortunately for Cody, after having a good start here and being higher up, he's made a mistake which has cost him, unfortunately. So I'm interested to see now who's going to take this opportunity to pit potentially, as I'd think the guys on the softs probably will. I'd also think Fadia's probably going to try to keep as much of a gap as he can to his teammates, so he can sort of hold up the guys behind and also get himself to avoid the double stack, unless he's not actually planning to pit, which we will have to see. there seems to be some overtaken safety cars, probably just the lobby being weird. I wouldn't be surprised, as Fiddy is leaving quite a big gap here to his teammate, but I don't think it's going to avoid a double stack, because yeah, they're both into the pits. Basically everyone seems to be coming in, as the guys on the mediums are staying out, like Lasse, Adam's in. Oh wait, no, he was on softs anyway, never mind. And David, Hoy and Rajpold, they've all stayed out, alongside Adam Show stacking the Ferrari, who's just about beat Dino on track there. But these guys at the front will eventually have to pit. And that means Dino's still net lead in the race. McGinty... Oh wait, no, they won't have to pit. I forgot, because they did it. They pitted at the first safety car. Ah. So, that actually changes things here if these guys... Well, especially with... If they rely on 2 more safety cars, they could definitely extend this and... well, try to go as close as they can to the end of the race, but those mediums are going to be not very happy by the end, is all I'm going to say, as well, they will wear quite aggressively at the end of the race. The tyre degradation isn't the worst here, but it's not the best you'll see. As technically, I'd say Lasse is actually net lead. It all comes down to if these guys at the front are going to extend that stint, like I said. And with the with Dino on much, well, not much fresher tyres, considering, well, those guys in front have done most of their laps into safety car, so they're probably still looking under 10% at the moment, but Dino will probably want to try and get past as quick as he can here, as David Perez actually gone hard tyres, and he's also hit the wall there, but he does seem to be having some connection issues here, as we have 2 drivers on hards, which are Camille and David Perez. Then, well, I'm interested to see what Mitch's AI does, as well, it stayed out on softs. Not really sure that's the best of strategies, but well, his AI is doing weird things. So, Lasse needs this race, as the safety car will be coming in probably at the end of lap 8 here, and at the moment we're averaging 1 retirement every other lap, so if that continues, 7 drivers that finish the race, and well, with I don't know if Mitch, he's probably having connection issues, considering he hasn't joined me for commentary here, and he would have got back in and retired his car, so I have no clue where he's gone. Well, it's gonna, so there's technically 15 runners in this race. I'm interested to see out of the 15 how many are going to finish from here on, as well. The less drivers there are, the less chaos there should theoretically be, but I mean, with how close a lot of these drivers get at times, I mean, that's not exactly the way things will go. As trying to think of anything realistically to say during these safety car phases, as well, there's not going to be all too much going on until we've literally ran out of safety cars for there to be, which I mean I'd prefer to be sooner rather than later. So, or actually, to be fair, I prefer to just have no more safety cars and we just have some pure racing here at Baku, but I mean, I wouldn't guarantee on that happening, as hopefully the safety car's coming in so we at least get something. And it is. Alright, so the safety car's going in at the end of this lap, so we'll see how this one's going to play out. As Lasse begins to back the grid up here. And then we will get restarted for the second time this race. As Lasse still hasn't gone yet. But I wouldn't have expected him to at the moment. Just waiting quite far here towards the line and actually slowing the pack down a lot as he's now got him. Rashford got slowed down that much that he's been absolutely caught off guard and had a lot of wheel spin, but David Hoy's going to have to let him back through as there's a bit of contact between the drivers behind. Lasse Rasmussen's gone and David Hoy's been caught in the contact and gone round. Rashford takes the lead of this race as the two Ferraris are fighting side by side into turn 2 and it looks like Adam's going to get the position there as Dino's all over the back of this, just watching patiently as this yellow flag's behind. I believe that is an Alfa Romeo even, as Adam does take the position off his teammate, and Dino's also having a look here as Dino has managed to actually get the move on Lasse. So after running deep turn 1, he managed to catch the drivers off guard with a very late restart, but he's now down to 4th already as Rajpod's flying off in the distance here and takes a 1 second lead over Adam Shostak in second, as the two Alpha Tauris currently sitting 5th and 6th, just following these guys through. As Dino runs a bit wide there and actually goes off track, and Lasse is going to take that opportunity to retake 3rd place. As Dino makes a slight mistake there, and unfortunately that's going to cost him down to 4th again. As these guys getting very close here through turn 15, as Fadia thought to have a look at his teammate, but didn't end up going for the move through turn 15 on the exit of turn 15 there. As further up watching this battle, Rashford's actually got a 2 second gap at the front here, so a very good restart for him as on board with Dino almost getting squeezed into the wall by Lasse then. As the Ferraris are going to go side by side, Dino watching right behind this one as he brakes earlier to avoid the contact, and Rasmussen has to run a bit wide there as Dino goes up the inside into turn 2, and he's going to take 3rd place for now. Sorensen's also on the back of Rasmussen here, and as Dino in front looking to make a move on Adam, and he's managed to go up to 2nd place as Elliott also all over the back of Lasse here, and potentially looking to make a move up the inside as McGinty behind is reined into a wall. I think he just avoided it, and that's a VSC and a safety car as Cifuentes is out the race as well. As he's retired out on track, so potentially had to come in together with Hajrusi, who's also disconnected from the session. So our 3rd safety car here on lap 10 is, I don't think Greg's going to be too happy out in 1st as well. He had a very strong lead here and had a very good restart to get the gap quite quickly, but everything's essentially just going to be reset again for the 3rd time this race, and well, a lot of battling there off the restart, and the guys at the front were managing to give each other just about enough room. As after that, it's now going to leave us with technically 13 drivers left in the session. 2 at the back have disconnected. One of them shouldn't even be on the grid anyway. As a bit close there between McGinty and Camille, as McGinty almost goes flying into the back of Camille there. As David, Hoy, Camille and McGinty are all choosing to pit, so I'm assuming they'll probably all go for a different set of mediums. As McGinty's actually gone hards. Camille is going to go for the mediums and is also getting a front wing change. And Hajri's AI's pit, so I believe he got damage. So, more of the chaos at the back this time off the restart, but a lot of fighting at the front as well. Which is allowed Rajpal to lead the race. I believe this is the first time he's led a race this season. The Alpine driver who consistently scores points here, doing decent in the Drivers' Championship. I believe he's around the top 10 area. And well, he's got Ditto behind him now, who will be looking to take this opportunity to gain as many points to Owen as he can, alongside Elliot as well, who currently sits 5th, and will also be looking here to gain as many points to Owen as well. With Owen, unfortunately, I'm not sure if he had a coming together with Majinsky or he just spun it on a curb potentially. I'm not too sure, but it's interesting to see what will happen with the championship standings after this race. As we're gonna have to wait here and have another lap on the safety car. So, well, grab yourself a drink or something. I don't know. As well, we got to wait another about 2.5 minutes here for the safety car to decide to go around the track, as Bert Myland is having a field day today, as Hajri's has managed to get back into the session, fortunately for him, so that is good to see. But he's probably not too happy that, well, he's on soft, so if he does want to make a quick strategy change, hopefully he can take control of his AI within the next few seconds, which he has done. So if he wants to change strategy, he can do, but I don't think he'll have enough time to process that. Well, his AI is stuck him on softs. Now with the safety car coming in at the end of this lap now on lap 12, unfortunately he's going to have to use those tyres. So, a lot has happened here already at Baku. 5 drivers out, 14 runners left, and well, we're only about halfway into the race here, so there's a lot more that can happen, and there's a lot more that probably will happen. So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how everyone handles this restart. As the last few, the last one immediately saw a lot of change at the front, so I'll be interested to see if that happens again. As the Ferraris, Mercedes, and AlphaTauri are doing well, with all teams having both drivers in the points and in decent places in the points as well. So if it stays this way, it'd be a good race for them in terms of the constructors, as we after the safety car reaches the sector 2 split line, we will see if, well, we're going to get back underway as well. Everyone's caught up, so I don't see a reason why we wouldn't. And the safety car is in this lap, so we have Rajpal to restart the race here, so I'm interested to see how he's going to do with my mind's just gone completely blank. I'm running. It's because of how little there is to say during safety car. Your mind just sorts of get taken away as you're trying to think of things to say. Anyway, the Alpine's going to restart the race here. Interested to see when he will go. As he's left it past the DRS line and still waiting for him to restart here. So he's going to take this one very late. Take it right up to the line, and he's gone now. And he's actually managed to build a decent gap to Dino. He's not going to be able to look to make a move into turn 1 as there's a bit of contact behind us. I saw, I think, a piece of a front wing fly off as someone's into the wall. That's Adam Lapage in the Mercedes. As a little less chaotic off the start, but Adam Showstack there looked to have almost a bit of a moment there through turn 2 as the Alpha Tauris have caught right up to the back of him. But behind them we have Eric Hadju and Matusiak fighting through turn 3 as Williams and the Red Bulls still going to go at it into turn 4, and I think Hadju's just going to keep that place for now as the Alpha Tauris all over the back of Adam Showstack. As I'm interested to see if Elliot's going to go for a move here as there's yellow flags behind. I think that's one of the Aston Martins, and Elliot and Adam here might go side by side into Castle as luckily Adam backs out there and barely avoids the wall as well. Otherwise that could have ended in absolute carnage as unfortunately for David Power, he looked to be the victim of those yellow flags which occurred as behind it looks like there's been a mistake there by Fadir and Showstack's also ran into the wall as that's going to be, no, I thought it was a virtual safety car then, but it isn't. But potentially he had a tangle with Fadir there, who also lost a lot of time. But anyway, back to the front. We have Dino here getting past the Alpine. And that's going to give him the lead of the race as Rajpal's going to look to fight it back here into turn 1. Both braking quite late. A bit of contact there as Rajpal's also been hit behind by Lasse, who's been spun at rain there. And that's going to drop him behind. Almost almost made Greg spin as well, but look at he's able to keep control of the car, but that's going to only drop him down to 4th as well. Gaps building all over the place immediately as we have 3 cars in the pits as well of Matusiak, Hadju and Fadir. As quite a big battle for 5th here as Camille struggling to keep it up to the DRS range of Lasse here. And he's got David, Toy, McGinty and Hajrusi all right behind him, who have managed to avoid the carnage slightly off the restart as Camille, bit of oversteer on exit, and they're going to go side by side as Camille completely cuts across David Hoy there, and he's also been pinched into the wall by McGinty, and that's going to make him lose 8 to McGinty and Hajrusi there. As Camille looking to be struggling quite a bit on those mediums at the moment. Maybe he didn't get the temperature into them too well under safety car. As McGinty all over the back of him here. And at turn 15. Not quite close enough to have a look into turn 16, but potentially on this straight he could challenge the Hash driver. As they've also got Hajrusi looking just behind them, as well as Dino sets the fastest lap of the race with a 1:42.7. I have a feeling that'll come down a bit more before the end of the race as McGinty's going to look to make a move here into turn 1 as he's going to get out broke there by Camille, who keeps the position, as McGinty's going to look up the inside again into turn 2 as Camille hits the wall slightly, and that's going to let McGinty pass, and also Hajrusi, who's also got a great run here on McGinty on those soft tyres. He's having to try and make the most of them while they're in good effect, and he's managed to get himself up to 5th place for now. But he's probably going to be hoping for a safety car soon, otherwise those soft tyres, well, I don't think they're particularly making it to the end with having to do 14 laps, but yeah, we'll have to see. As David Hoy again on the back of Camille here, as he's managed to catch back up, and he's actually hitting to the back of Camille there, so he's looking very racy, trying to get past the Hash driver and essentially pushing him through every corner here, as Camille runs slightly wide on the exit of the castle section, and that's going to let David Hoy all over the back of him here. He's just going to brake earlier into turn 15, take it more cautious, and he's got a decent exit, but he He's just going to stay behind us. I do believe DRS has been enabled, so if it has, then he can take the effect of that. We'll see if it's enabled here. On board with McGinty. As Dino goes 5 tenths quicker already, and it doesn't actually look like there is DRS yet, so David Toy's going to have to make this move purely with battery. And oh no, there is DRS. It's because I didn't have the telemetry open because I'm smart. But yeah, that's going to lay David Toy up into 7th here. And allow him to chase after McGinty and Hajrusi, as McGinty here probably just looking to follow the Alfa Romeo, who's taking time out of Lasse, and hopefully for him he can get into the DRS range, but we'll have to see, as he has managed to, but we'll see if it stays that way by the end of the lap, as well, Mitch's AI's into the pits again. Not sure why it's pitting off of 5 lap mediums for another set of mediums, but okay. As well, we have a battle here between Camille and Adam, as Adam's gone up the inside in the turn before Castle, and he's now going to be on a charge to try get back into the DRS of David Hoy. As Adam Showstack also close behind David Peller here. So we'll see on quite old mediums now, so you can have to try and extend them as far as you can, as that's probably also benefiting Elliot in 3rd to catch up to Greg. But anyway, further up, Hajrusi has kept with Lasso this lap, and McGinty's also not too far behind here, so with the advantage of DRS you'd think he'd get this move done quite easily here. And he does, as in the chat we've been told rain is coming, so well, if that is the case, as there isn't many laps left here, that could potentially bring a whole new type of carnage, as these guys since the last restart have kept it very clean here, and probably helped by the fact that the gaps are developing a bit and there's not too much fighting going out on track, as McGinty here looking to make a move on Lasse, but he'll probably just wait to the DRS and hope that Hajrusi can break the gap so he can get the full advantage of it, as it's definitely getting a bit darker in the sky. The sun's still out at the moment, but especially with another safety car, that would definitely give time if there is going to be rain, as Sorensen's actually caught up to the back of Rajpal now, so with DRS coming up in a moment for him, we'll see if the AlphaTauri can make a move here on the Alpine, as Sorensen here about 7 tenths behind at the moment, so we'll see if he's going to get close enough. He doesn't have a battery advantage either, so I don't think he's going to be able to make the move this straight, but by the first 2 corners, if he can get close enough, he could have a look on the run down towards turn 3, as behind Rasmussen keeping close here to Hajrusi, and that's going to allow him to stay ahead of McGinty for now. But as Adam Napage pits in the Mercedes, and alongside Camille as well, so I'm interested to see what's happening with those two, as Sorensen just keeps himself out the move there, as Adam's spit for soft, so if there is going to be rain, I don't think it's going to have enough time to affect now as well. There's still not enough clouds for it to start raining any second. There is this yellow flags, and it looks like there's been contact between someone and Lasse there, as Lasse looks to have potentially been squeezed into the wall, but luckily for him, I don't think he picked up any damage there in the Ferrari. And yeah, the clouds are slowly getting worse and worse as these yellow flags in sector once again, as Camille's out the race. And is that going to trigger a safety car? And it has. Alright, okay. I'm now interested to see the strategy calls as well. I'd assume people are going to pit for softs, but with the rain, potentially soon. Will we have anyone take potentially the most ridiculous gamble they ever have? That's what I'm interested to see. I wouldn't think anyone's gonna go for it, but go for Inters. But if they do, then you know what? I'm interested to see if the rain's gonna come quick enough for it to work out for them. Stino's in and he's going softs, and well, you think everyone's gonna go softers. Elliot has a pit, so he's gonna take the net lead of this race here. As yeah, everyone going for softs who has pitted, as Rusi's staying out on those softs, so maybe these guys just thinking track position is key in case the rain does come out, as McGinty's actually fitted Inters. Okay. And now that's interesting. I'm thinking he's probably going to be the only driver to do so, but that's a very bold strategy, and I actually like that idea as well. If that pays off, fair play. That would be a ridiculous call, and would play out pretty much perfectly for him as well. The safety car will probably come in at the end of lap 20, as he's the only person who's going to go for that strategy on the Inters. So he's going to be just completely stuck here at the start. And well, he's going to have to catch the safety car, which could keep the safety car out longer as he's actually not closing the gap. Well, that's going to be interesting. As he's slowly closing the gap, but well, he has to be very careful as well. It's bone dry out there, so those Inters are going to be absolutely screaming right now, but well, it's interesting to see if we are going to see any drops of rain soon, as McGinty has managed to catch, so as the clouds have got very dark, and with another lap under safety car coming, well, if the rain does start within the next few moments here, this could work out for McGinty, as at least there will be some sort of water forming on the track. Swenson just backing off from the safety car here, so is he going to come into the pits? And he is. Yes, he is. He faked as if he was, and then actually went for it in the end as McGinty stayed out. There we go, that's good to see. I was hoping he would, and I'm interested to see what tyres Elliot's going on here. He's going for the Inters as well. Okay, here we go. This is where, if it starts raining this lap, those two are probably going to finish 1-2 this race. But they are going to need it to rain this lap. And someone like Ashrusi sitting in first, but on the older softs, he's probably also hoping it rains this lap as well. This has completely changed the whole course of this race now, with these guys going on split strategies, and the fact that there's going to be rain here right at the end. As I really hope to see, for the sake of those guys on Inters, I hope to see drops this lap, otherwise, well, they're going to lose more than 20 seconds. As there's some rain, and there is rain falling here in Baku, as I have just seen a few drops there on the exit of Sector 1, and it started to rain. Okay, right, this is going to get interesting off the restart, as it looks to be dropping Sector 1. I think there's the drops. I don't know if there's any further up here through Castle. Doesn't look to be. So with the safety car going in this lap, the heavens are going to have to open essentially. There's no drops anywhere else. There was in Sector 1 there, but well, okay, there is a few drops now falling here in Sector 2 as I think Hajrusi's just going to go. I don't think he's going to wait around. He's going to want to try to get this race finished as quick as possible to hope the rain doesn't play too much of a factor in as yet. It's definitely raining and the safety car's in this lap. As he's backing this up ridiculously here. So maybe he actually, I've just realised he's actually on the older soft, so he's going to want the rain. This could be one hell of an end to a race if McGinty and Sorensen can get those inters up to pace. Hoping that it starts falling more than it is now. So there's only a few light drops as... wondering when the Alfa Romeo driver's going to go here. As he's gone, and he's just about to build a bit of a gap to Dino as he's actually gone straight into the pits, and so has Adam Shostak there. So I'm interested to see if they're biting the bullet on the inters as well. McGinty here on those inters is going to have to fight as much as he can. There's carnage in the background. Someone straight into the wall. 3 cars out. David Perro, Fadia and Eric Hadju all out of the race there. In one corner. And McGinty's still holding on to third for now. Lachey's going to want to get past the McLaren who's sitting on those intermediate tyres as well. McGinty's just going to try to defend it as much as he can. And he's managing to hold up the drivers here as everyone's going for inters at the back. So if the rain does fall heavy this lap, this could completely change the course of this race. But it's still not really falling. And well, that's not good for the inter runners as well. If I was Dino at this rate, I'd just commit to staying out. You're on fresh softs. You're not going to lose too much time. And well, yeah. There's probably a benefit here as well. Dino's just hoping the rain doesn't come too heavy as well. McGinty has lost, if I look at the gap to the leader, 10 seconds this lap. So one more lap like this and yeah. That's going to be interesting as these guys on the inters are having a fight with Mitch's ghost that's still in the races. Off that restart has dropped us to 11 runners and the rain's still not really falling here. And it's still very light, but at least it's starting to build up a little bit more. And I'm going to keep the gap to the leader on as that gap is 12.5 seconds and Sorensen's 8 on the inters. So the strategy for him is unfortunately not going to work here. So it's all down to this lap whether or not the rain's going to fall enough for McGinty to not lose enough time where Dino can pit. So right now is pretty much the deciding factor at this point of the race. And I'm also interested to see if the rain is going to be quite bad in this lap, and it's going to need to be, otherwise these guys are going to be fine with their softs to the end, I'd think. As that gap's currently 14.2 seconds, and it's still not raining really. So I don't think the inters are really going to work out, unfortunately, for McGinty here, as that gap keeps extending every single moment here as well. If I take a look further back around the track, yeah, it's still not raining towards Sector 1. There's a few drops here in Castle, but yeah, not much happening as that gap 16.7 seconds right now. As Dino's just looking to make it as far as he can here before the rain starts falling too badly, and well, it hasn't yet. As there is a few more, yeah, Sector 3's looking where it's going to come down heaviest first here as well. Things looking to start to get a bit slippy there, especially through turn 16 and turn 15. As Dino's now just going to take this one carefully, as on this start-finish straight here, there's a lot of drops falling now, and I'm interested to see there's a few slightly wet patches forming now. As none of the front guys are in, and DRS is being enabled. I thought I said disabled then, I was like, oh my, here we go. But no, DRS has been enabled. I think they'll be disabled again by the end of this lap, potentially. As quite a long lap here at Baku, so if the conditions immediately just switch, McGinty could really benefit here, and he's catching slightly in a straight line, but that could be due to the downforce. And no, he's still losing time through the corners, as there's definitely some wet patches on the track, but I don't think it's enough yet. But by the end of this lap, it definitely could be, and Yeah, Dino's starting to have to go very slow, almost spinning himself in on the wall there. Actually, yeah, there's a lot of standing water starting to build up here. McGinty's still losing time there, so it's still not quite ready for Inters, but by the end of the lap it might be as it's very slippy here through Castle, and Dino's having to be very cautious. And I do think if he pits this lap, he's still going to be ahead of McGinty, who is losing a stupid amount of time somewhere. He just lost a second in the space of one corner, as it's still starting to look very wet now. 10 drivers left in the race. If you finish, you get points. Actually, no, to be fair, we've already reached that point. It's 90% now, so everyone's going to get points. Now it's very, very dangerous on this start-finish phase. Dino's having to take that in 7th and be very careful. And if I were him, you've got the gap to pit, do it, but he's not going to here. Rajpal looks to be heading straight for the pit lane, and he's in. So Dino's going to risk staying out. For 3 laps, we'll see what's going to happen as turn 1 already very treacherous for him, and the gap to leader's going to probably start coming down this lap as he's having to be very careful. As he's committed now, he can't pit, so we'll have to see if this is going to end in the Lando Norris situation for him, as Rajpal had to actually get a new front wing there as well as there's yellow flags and Lassay's round. I know he's gone straight on at turn 1 there, so here we go. I think it's now time for Inters as McGinty's caught through turn 1. And he's also through turn 2 actually not catching. Actually no, on the exit, it's on the exit of the corners. He's really building up the time here as he's got the traction to get the time down, and Dino crawling around the track, so I have no idea if McGinty's going to get him or not. DRS is disabled. The time's going to have to really come down a lot here as Dino and Adams still not in the Mercedes. I think Adams just going to slow up as much as he can and just block McGinty here. Do as much as he can for the team. And he just has to hope Dino can keep it on track, as it's definitely into conditions here, and the gap's barely dropping still, but well, there's more rain falling. It's just going to get worse and worse for Dino to drive, as especially in Sector 2 there, it looks as if McGinty, through Castle, has gained about a second to the leader. And more time on exit as Adams crawling, and now he's going to try and fight McGinty for his teammate, but McGinty's just going to take that one up the inside. As he had to take off the brake there, as he almost went a bit too quick, but it's going to be a 2-lap charge. He's going to have to gain 10 seconds each lap. Dino's almost reined, and he's managed to catch that one just about, but the gap is 18.7. So as McGinty comes to the line, we'll see what that gap will be, as it's coming down and down and down and down, but I have no clue whether or not it's going to be close enough here at the end, as the rain has really thrown a curveball into this one. Dino having to be so careful here as he's struggling really badly, as Rajpal's probably going to get past Adam Lapich. If I were Adam, I'd just pit and take it safely to the end, which he is going to do here. As the gap 17.3 seconds as McGinty crosses the line. I'm interested to see what that is by the end of this lap, as it's down to 16.6 already. And Dino's literally there, almost on the same straight now. As that gap's 15.7, 15.5, it's coming down every single second. The gap between them is going to just keep on keep on decreasing here. As Dino's got 5 sectors to go. And everything looks to be fading away slowly for him here, as McGinty's catching very quickly here. And he doesn't even have the choice to pit as well. Rajpal's definitely going to be within range for him to not be able to pit by the end, as McGinty's took that gap down to 12.7 here, already within 1 sector, that is 5 seconds. So with the second sector probably being the bit where McGinty will catch the most, it's going to look very unfortunate for Dino here, as he could even lose third place, as McGinty has a little bit of a moment, but it doesn't matter. He's still catching even though he's struggling, as I'd hate to think what it is like driving right now for Dino as well. I mean, he can still pit and just take third place realistically, as he's almost gone round, and it's way too treacherous now as McGinty's within 7 seconds, and I think for the McLaren driver, this means he's going to win the race here as that gap down and down and down it goes. And, you know, if I were him, I'd just pit and guarantee myself that third place. But he's not going to. He's going to attempt to fight this one all the way to the end here as the gap is 4 seconds. It's decreased by 11 in, no, not 11, 13 seconds in one lap. So you'd think by the end of Sector 1, Dino's going to be having McGinty right on the back of him here, as that looks to be the case, as McGinty getting closer and closer. And I'm interested to see if Rajpal's going to get second place here, as Dino, he's going to have to try everything he can, but McGinty's on those inters, and well, he's just going to fly past here into turn 4, and he's going to take the lead of the race here, as Dino can't do anything to fight him. As Rajpal also here could be taking second place off Dino, as Dino's really struggling, and McGinty's already 2.2 seconds ahead. Rajpal's now closing in. I'm going to swap back to the gaps between the drivers in that gap. 7 seconds, 6.8. That's going down very quickly. And Dino here still on those softs. I'm surprised he's managed to keep this on track as well as he has, as he's literally fighting the car at every corner to not spin, and he's been so careful here. And that gap's now down to 3.4, so I'm interested to see. He's got pretty much a sector left to hold on here from the Alpine behind, and I don't think he's going to quite make it, unfortunately, as Rajpal here right on the back of Dino now. And even though those soft tyres in a straight line are quite quick, Dino's just going to try and defend, but there's no point, unfortunately. I don't think he was. I think he was trying to move out the way, but the soft tyres, Dino's almost hitting into every single wall possible. But he's still going to get a podium and at least some points for risking it, but it's not the gap he would have wanted to close to Owen, as McGinty has taken his first win here, I believe, and Rajpal gets second, and Dino, after risking the strategy, takes third here. And it's going to be good points for Mercedes, as Adam's going to come home in fourth, meaning they're going to pick up 27 points compared to Red Bull's none. As one thing that's randomly that I've noticed is Mitch's AI stayed out, but hold up, we got a battle here up to the line, but wasn't close enough for Adam Matuzia. Completely missed that 8th. But yeah, the rain has completely changed this race right at the end there, and oh my. As Rajpal's been given 20 seconds after he's left the session. What? That'll be removed immediately. That's dumb. He'd already crossed the line. As we're just waiting for Mitch's AI, who's didn't even make it to the line in time. Anyway, who's the game's driver for the day? I'm guessing it's Mitch, because, I mean, his AI went up 11 places. I wouldn't be surprised, as his AI's just pulled over and retired. But yeah, first win here for McGinty, who, under safety car, went for the gamble, paid off, and he's taken the win here. As Dino did have just about the opportunity to pit, but he didn't take it when he maybe should have. And that's unfortunately cost him the race win as well. He's technically finished third, but the game's just glitched and took Rajpal 20 seconds behind for no reason. So, getting the race director for anyone who will need that. Especially, Rajpal picked it up on lap 27. That just shows how broken the game is, because Baku doesn't even have 27 laps. And look now, it's nice and sunny after the race, you know. Makes sense when we started, we, you know, just had loads of rain come down. Because, you know, it's just going to go back to dry immediately and look like there's never been any rain in the city ever. But anyways, that race has just been changed completely. That was ridiculous. And wow, that rain has just, well, completely changed everything. But unfortunately, it's not benefited Dino there, and that's going to mean he doesn't get as many points to earn in the standings. So if I do take a look at the update to the standings here for PC2, Dino's going to close that gap down by 15 points, and it's going to be at 19 the gap to Owen. Elliot's unfortunately retired when swapping to the Inters early, otherwise he could have had a podium as well here, and that unfortunately means he's going to not gain any points here, as McGinty, taking his second podium of the season and first race win, is going to shoot up to 57 points and go as high as 4th, I think, in the standings here. As Adam Lapage in the Mercedes is also going to move up in the standings with a 4th place finish from him, which should take him up to P6 in the standings, I believe. And then in the Constructors, Mercedes earned themselves a 3rd and 4th, which is a total of 27 points. And with Dino on pole, that's 28, and I think he also got fastest lap, so potentially 29 actually. So Dino might actually... No, he'll be only 17 points off Owen then. And with 29 points gained, Mercedes will actually take the lead of the Constructors here, which is good for them. And Red Bull are going to have to get a move on here after a double retirement today. So, that's going to conclude this race for Ero Pc F2. Next week we will be heading to Japan, where, I mean, rain's quite likely there, which will be interesting. Yeah, that was, well, absolute chaos right at the end. And, yeah. Hopefully we can see you all join us next week again for Japan. As well, I'm pretty sure that probably will also be very interesting to see Dino's on track again to get back up to Owen and fight him for the championship more. Elliot's going to need a recovery drive next week after 2 non-scoring races in a row now, unfortunately, for the AlphaTauri, but that's just sometimes how things go, and yeah. Unfortunately for him, he's going to have some work to do, but anything's still possible here as we're only about halfway through the season. So yeah, hopefully we see you all next time. I think we have PS F3 and F2 on now. Or, well, I think PS F3, I don't know if it happened yet or it's going to happen soon. And then PS F2 is later at 6 or 7, I believe. Then tomorrow we have PC F1 and PS F1 at 4 and 6 respectively. Where, I mean, there probably will be as much chaos in every other tier that's happening. But yeah, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you next week.